Welcome, beloved. Welcome to Ascension Live. I am Astarius Miraculii, and Ascension Live happens every Friday on Instagram and every Monday on Facebook at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for visiting my website, which is astarius.com. I have a great number of music albums and a couple of books available there. I am also available for intuitive astrological readings and sound healing transmissions with didgeridoo and vocal harmonics. I also practice and teach Reiki. I am broadcasting to you from my home temple, Ascension Temple, which is here in the Red Rocks of Sedona, Arizona. Gracious thank you to all of those of you who have been sending donations. I receive donations via Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, as well as a donation button on my website. Today, I don't have a specific subject. We're going to just let the vibration flow as it flows. Sometimes it's wonderful to experience the spontaneous occurrence of the message. So I invite you to be of the presence of mind and heart, to be intending what is the frequency of message that you want for yourself. Thank you for remembering who you are. Thank you for knowing that you have the capacity to offer forth an intention that will bring on the full-on manifestation of that which you are intending. When we intend something, we are meant to do so with the intending power of God, Goddess Absolute. I just realized I have this blower on. I don't like to have that air conditioning blowing, so give me a moment where I cut that thing off. Okay, beautiful. That way we can get as much clarity, in this recording as we possibly can for everybody. I think what I'm going to do is flip through my book, Miraculii, Song of Ascension, and I'm going to just flip through here for a message that would be applicable to this moment, this sacred moment for you and for me, as we mutually and together invite God, Goddess Absolute to come forth. I see all of my sweet ones out there. I love you so much. So here we are in this moment of co-creation, co-creating a reality in this moment. Everything that flows in this live, in this now moment, will be an outpicturing of your co-creation. So I want you to take responsibility for the amazing magic that will occur, because it will be the externalization of your co-creation. So let us all own what it is that we've had a sacred hand in. So as I'm flipping through the book, I'd like for you to think of a number between 1 and 7. And I'm going to pick the central of what I get around that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have turned the page to Ascension Wedding. I think that's very significant because we all need to experience that marriage to self. So in the Ascension Wedding, I say I, my human self, promise to love you, my ascended self. Promise to honor you, my ascended self. Promise to support you, my ascended self. Promise to enrich you, my ascended self. Promise to perfectly accept you, my ascended self. To stand by you in the face of any and everything, my ascended self. I, my ascended self, promise to love you, my human self, to honor you, my human self, to support you, my human self, to empower you, my human self, to enrich you, my human self, to perfectly accept you, my human self, and to stand by you in the face of any and everything, my human self. The ring of our bond is the circle of eternity, which has no ending. We are the microcosm of the celestial marriage of God-Goddess, the macrocosm. I do take you, my ascended self, to be my eternal spouse. I do take you, my human self, to be my eternal spouse. By the power vested in the absoluteness that I am, I now pronounce the eternal marriage of my human and ascended self. What an amazing experience for us to have the presence of mind and heart to intend the marriage of our human and ascended self. And that marriage is a renewing of the vows of human and ascended self, because the human and ascended self are married from the beginningless beginning all the way into the endless end. Never has there been a time when the human self and the ascended self was not in the sacred joining, the sacred unity. Even before the manifestation of the human self, it was a seed potential, a formless embryo in the womb of the consciousness of the ascended self. And what is the potential for manifest reality other than the fullness of reality, the embryonic stage of reality, this embryonic slumber? All things that will ever come to be exist in formless embryo in the womb of creation, in the womb of your soul and my soul. We all are the microcosmic containers of the macrocosmic all that is. Now I'm going to ask you to hold space for me one more time, because I realize I haven't put everything on silence and I do not want any ringing to come in here. So let's begin. And so we're going to turn the volume down there, and our ducks in a row. Sometimes I've been in the midst of something so delicious and wonderful, and the phone rings. And we don't want that kind of interruption. Other than if God is calling. If God is calling, we're going to pause and answer the phone. Because God gets carte blanche. So here we are in this resonance of the marriage of the human and ascended self. Our promise is we promise to love our ascended self. We, the human self, are promising to love our ascended self. Now, when we're in that mode of loving our ascended self, as we also promise to honor our ascended self, and our ascended self is also commensurate with God, Goddess Absolute. And to offer support to the ascended reality of God, Goddess Absolute is our having the presence of mind and heart to bless God. Have you blessed God lately, beloved? Now, for some, that's a scary idea, almost blasphemous, because we say, oh my God, God does not need any blessings. And of course, that's the truth. God, Goddess Absolute is infinitely rich in blessings. And even though God, Goddess Absolute is infinitely rich in blessings, when we offer a blessing unto Creator Source, then Creator is even more expanded and even richer in those blessings. Like you and me, if we have a lot of love and someone comes along and wants to share love with us, do we say, I'm all full up, I don't need no more love? No, we receive that love. And even though we were already rich in love, then by virtue of that which we allow ourselves to be in receivership of, now we're even richer in love. So right now, beloved, join me. Let all of us together and in unison send forth a blessing under God, Goddess Absolute. This is our promise from our human self to be in support of our ascended self, even unto God, Goddess Absolute. Feel the reality, beloved, of blessing Creator Source. Feel the resonance of the up-leveling of self-esteem that says, oh my God, I walk in the power, wisdom, and love to bless my Creator. Let the self-esteem skyrocket through the roof of the cosmos. Bless God right now. Bless Goddess right now. Bless the entire ascended host right now. Bless all of the angels and the archangels right now. When we offer that blessing to the celestial and infinite, all that is, we are simultaneously blessing the individuality of our own self. Because when we bless the ocean, we simultaneously bless the drop. And so by virtue of our uniting in blessing Creator Source, every single one of us are now up-leveled in the vibration of our being. We promise to enrich our ascended self, to enrich Creator Source. And we promise to perfectly accept our ascended self, which is Creator Source. To perfectly accept Creator Source is to be in the full-on presence of mind and heart that we, in our individual selfhood, is the microcosmic all that is, as this mirror of Creator Source. To perfectly accept Creator Source is to recognize that we are the microcosmic container of the macrocosmic all that is. To perfectly accept Creator Source is to know that everything that could ever be discovered about God, Goddess Absolute can be deciphered from the individualized inner sanctum of any one of our beings. We are the microcosm of the Akashic Records, the book of God's remembrance. Oh my Goddess, it's so wonderful. We promise to perfectly accept our ascended self, God, Goddess Absolute. We promise to enrich our ascended self. In the fulfillment of the promise to enrich our ascended self, to enrich Creator Source, what we're doing is we are acknowledging the full magnitude of who we are. That there is an absoluteness that is microcosmically expressed through us. That we are our own version of the whole universe, our own version of Creator Source, and that's the gift that we give Creator Source, is a version of celestial selfhood expressed microcosmically that is unduplicatable. By virtue of being who you are, beloved, you give a gift unto Creator Source that cannot be given by any other being. It is unduplicatable. And by virtue of that, we enrich Creator Source. We enrich our ascended self. In truth, you cannot be unascended. There is no such thing as an unascended being, though there is a great deal of unascended awareness, because all of life is one. Even if only one being in the celestial domain is ascended, they are the microcosmic extension or the macrocosmic extension of the ascension of all that is. The ascension of the drop is the ascension of the ocean. The ascension of one is the ascension of all. The ascension of all is the ascension of one. In the marriage of our human and ascended self, we own the reality of our ascended beingness. Three primary qualities that define our ascended beingness: omnipotent, all-powerful; omniscient, all-knowing, having the knowledge of everything that is, was, or ever will be; eternal enlightenment; and omnipresent, evenly present everywhere. And so we own this resonance of our ascended self. And our promise is to stand by our ascended self in the face of any and everything. Even when we're going through trials and tribulations, we want to, in the inner recesses of our being, stand by our ascended self. To stand by that something within us that has the solution to every problem, that has the knowledge of all things, that has the capacity to keep us positioned within the inner sanctum of being, within the inner heaven of our being, within the stillness and slow motion, within the sacred pause, within the I and the I am of the storm. Our ascended self teaches us how to be in that place that is invincible, invisible, and invulnerable to any of the dark and negative things of life. And then the ascended self has promised all of these things unto the human self. And we simply learn to receive that which has been promised to us. So at this point, I want to bring in the frequency of the didgeridoo. And when I bring in the didgeridoo, I'd like for you to really hold very intimately to these principles that we've been speaking about. Allow the continuity of the up-leveling of your self-esteem, the continuity of the cellular resonance of feeling the oneness with Creator Source. So let me get my didgeridoo. I'm going to play the didgeridoo, which is called Pluto Dragon. It's in a key of C sharp. It is said that the earth vibrates to the resonance of C sharp. So here we be. Thank you, Divine Creator, for giving us the presence of mind and heart to own the divinity of our souls, to exemplify the sacred marriage of our human self to our ascended self, Thank you, Divine Creator, for aligning us with the presence of mind and heart to be infinitely self-forgiving. I, my ascended reality of selfhood, offer unto the human reality of my selfhood infinite forgiveness. I bless the darkness, make it right, reverse the tide, and free the light. This I do by heaven's might, to thus fulfill God's divine birthright. By virtue of my ascended reality of being, I see every being in all of existence redeemed and exalted in the highest vibration of ascended master selfhood. Even though that reality in the human sense has yet to come into being, I reach forward into the future and pre-memorate the reality of the greatest exaltation of every being within this divine experience of the human journey, calling forth those vibrations to come into the now memoration of this moment. We pre-memorate the exaltation and the glory of our future, commemorate the exaltation and glory of the past, bringing it into the now memoration of this sacred now moment. Thank you, beloveds, for coming home to yourself, for donning the robe of your absoluteness. Thank you for knowing that you make a monumental difference in the expansion of life, that all of life and the whole universe is better by virtue of you. Thank you, beloved, for knowing that you are that powerful, that you are that wise, and you're that loving. Thank you for allowing love to have its way with you, allowing love to infinitely love through you as you, and knowing that love is not something that you have to do, but something to simply allow. Thank you for allowing and letting there be the full resonance of love's expression in every cell of your being, in every cell of my being. We are love personified. We are the infinite resonance of the vibration of love. Feel the reality of the marriage of your human self to your ascended self, expressed on the wings of these celestial tones. Hey. Yes, the journey of being is infinite miles through eternity. Thank you for quoting me, beloved. I love myself with all my heart, eternal knowing God impart. No more hatred, no more pain, legacy of heaven mine to claim. Once I really hated me, a self-induced catastrophe. Others began to hate me too. Hate's reflection became my due. When I look in any mirror, each reflection is my own. If I dislike that which I am, rejection by others will be shown. In self-acceptance let me grow, to hereby let all others know. I want them to accept me too. They only follow what I do. I ask myself to marry me, to thus fulfill my destiny. I promise always to be true. Self-love and honor I am due. Sweet self, I'm sorry for the pain. Forgive and love me once again. I want me for eternity, a better lover than to be. Now every bond is sweeter too, for loving me is loving you. Within the temple of heaven's house, I do. Take me to be my spouse. Thank you for that acknowledgement of my books and CDs, beloved. I love you also. And one other excerpt from my book. It is important that I be omnipresent as well as present. My presence reflects my individual selfhood. My presence is the meeting place for the omnipresence that I really am. I embrace the oneness of the wholeness of all. I am the cellular personification of the universe. I feel with the heart of God. I feel with the heart of the universe. I, the universe, am infinitely courageous. I, the universe, or the universe that I am, has unlimited cells of selfhood. I am cellular co-creator of all that is created. My body is a portal for the crystallization of the universe absolute. Every now is an access code to every other now. Every here is a portal to every other here. Now is the commonality of all time. Here is the commonality of all space. Now is the microcosmic container of eternity, the seed in which eternity sleeps and then blossoms into forever. Here is the birth of infinity in the nursery of space. The journey through enlightenment has many roads. Every being is a passport to God. Every joy portals into every other joy. Every healing empowers every other healing and is empowered by every other healing throughout the oneness of healing. The cellular memory of freedom merges with the cellular memory of pain and transforms pain into freedom. Pain is an angel in distress. Oh, God is so wonderful. Thank you, beloveds, for presencing with me in this moment of spontaneous transmission. I am Astarius Miraculii, and I love you so much. Fly well on the wings of ascension. Oh, you are so welcome, beloved Naomi, sweet one. I'm glad you felt it so deeply. I felt it myself, and that was really wonderful. And Astray Astoundance, I see you there. Thank you for booking your session today. We're going to do some amazing work when it comes about. I love all of you, beloveds. I see you, Zamira, loving you with the passion of heaven. All of you wonderful beings, remember the glory of who you are. You are welcome and infinitely worthy, beloved. Absolutely. Fly well on the wings of ascension. I love you with the passion of heaven. I believe in you. I recognize the monumental, infinite beingness that you are, microcosmically expressed as your individual being. I see you remembering who you are. You remember who you are. You remember where you're from. Waramuba he wa'a. Waramuba we wa'iya. You remember that you are divine. Waramuba wa divyanu. What was lost you have now found. Radun blais esuta wea, riding the bliss ascension brings. Danusi driamu awaku, dance the dream awake. Ayaya yuanata, ayayata yuanata, ikraia, hota flata, opau athria, rasua kuranata, proprieta nata flata, ayayata yuanata, hiea lin yuanata, esuta yuanata, wana esuta yuanata, gagade asule yuanata, ayayata yuanata, ikraia hota flata, wana esuta yuanata. Ayayata, Yuanata, Astarius Miraculii, in and out, and dwelling with you in the inner sanctum of your being, as you dwell with me in the inner sanctum of my being. Blessed be the absoluteness that we are.